everyone. My name is Tolulope Adewemimo, and I'll be talking to you on the topic of should comprehensive sexuality education be a mandatory part of the school curriculum? So I want to introduce the comprehensive sexuality education. It's a curriculum-based process of teaching and learning about cognitive, emotional, physical, and social aspects of sexuality. And that is why you have the word comprehensive, because it's in itself, it is comprehensive, in that it entails, when you hear sexuality, what comes to mind is sex or sex education, as the case may be. But in this context, where you have comprehensive sexuality education, it is more than just the physical aspect of sexuality. It talks about emotional, physical, social aspects of sexuality, and also the cognitive aspects of it. It's just equip adolescents and young people with knowledge and skills that they need to empower them to realize, their health and well-being in terms of a sexual relationship, to consider how their choices affect their well-being, to help them navigate through this adolescent stage. And we all know how significant that stage is in life. Adolescence is a time where the individual is no more a child and is not an adult yet. It's just a transitioning time. And it is a very important and critical aspect of life. So comprehensive sexuality education is one of, the problem. I hope my screen is moving. Okay. These are problems of adolescents and young people. So it's one of them when you talk about sexual reproductive health and rights, when you talk about, different sexual, like I said, social, physical, and, cognitive aspects of sexuality. So it's a problem that these adolescents and young people face, which we tend to shy away from. So the comprehensiveness of comprehensive sexuality education, I said it is comprehensive in that it provides an understanding of the sexual reproductive health and rights, such that if an adolescent or young person or young people are they are well rooted in comprehensive sexuality education, they tend to have the capacity, the skills to ask for their sexual and reproductive health and rights. They tend to understand what it is with their body, what it is with how to navigate through life when it comes to their sexuality. So it equips them with more life skills that they need to make well-informed decisions, to keep them well protected, their health and well-being, including their rights. And the comprehensive sexual education, it deals with when you're talking about the knowledge, that is the knowledge that is being gained, then the skills that is being acquired, then attitude. That's the cognitive aspect of it come into play. Then what are the core principles of CiAY? We have its comprehensiveness because it addresses a wide range of topics. Talk of how to build and also critical thinking. All these are embedded in comprehensive sexuality education, sex education, sexual reproductive health and rights. Now, these are the core principles of CSE. It has to be comprehensive enough for you to say it is CSE. then it has to be age appropriate. The content and teaching method should be tailored to the age level of the end user, the adolescent and young people. It has to be tailored towards, how younger children may have to focus on understanding their body first and to have respect for body too. Then older students may tend to address topics that are more sensitive, like consent and the relationship dynamics, and how to actually build relationships that are appropriate. Then it has to be culturally relevant, sensitive, because of the sensitivity of CSC. That's why most people don't want to talk about it. CSC as a corporate should, and this it is in the context of where you're actually delivering this comprehensive sexuality education, which you respect what are their core values, what are the values, what are the religions. You cannot separate religions from especially in the African settings. Then it should engage communities to reflect what are their norms, what are their not on their core values, and it has to be scientifically accurate. All information, it should be correct. They should be verified. It should not be emotions. It should be something that is relatable to these students, these adolescents and young people. It has to be relatable. It has to be reliable facts and figures on sexual health, reproduction, and then relationships too. So human rights based. It has to be human rights based, free from all form of discrimination, and it should also promote the understanding of sexual rights as human rights, just like we have, having access to equitable health services. That's just CSC is just also part of all these health services that one should actually have access to. Is part of human rights, including the right to access information about sexual and reproductive health, and also the right to access sexual and reproductive health services without being discriminated, without being judged. Like the next one is non-judgmental. Comprehensive sexuality should provide a safe space for all students where they feel comfortable. Organ, they are also part of your body. You can't separate sex, so you can't say because it is a private part of the body you didn't talk. It's the normal anatomy. It's part of, and we should encourage students to actually participate by promoting discussion their sexuality, and by so do not be judged. So the gender equitable, such as it will reduce gender-based violence and discrimination. A boy, they should actually understand the peculiarity of it should be all inclusive. It should cater regardless of their social health, comprehensive sexuality education for all. And that is why we are preaching stable health for all. Health, regardless of the gender, the sexual orientation, disability, inclusive based. It should be skills based. That's why I said it's comprehensive. You are talking about critical thinking, problem solving, resilience, negotiation, communication, education, build the adolescent is understands his or her body, and he understands the peculiarity of, okay, I'm a girl, and this is peculiar to me. He's a boy, this is peculiar to him. It's not about knowledge, it focuses on life skills, such as making decision, critical thinking. And all these skills are what helps whatever they learn in CSE to now apply it to real life situations. So these are the key concepts of comprehensive sexuality education. Actually, this topic is like wants us to have a background of what CSE is, and so it will now be able to answer the question that should it be in the curriculum. So these are the key concepts of CSE. It talks about relationships. It talks about rights, values, rights, culture, and sexuality. It talks about understanding gender. Okay, I'm a girl. You understand what is peculiar meaning a girl. Understanding gender, then violence, staying safe of violence, gender-based violence, skills. Like I said, acquiring skills for health and well-being, coping skills, the human body and development, sexuality, understanding what your sexuality involves, and sexual behavior, then sexual and reproductive. These are the key concepts of CSE. It is comprehensive, like in comprehensive sexuality education, but the focus of this is not to give us an overview of what CSE is, and then we think that in the curriculum or not to this video, but we might actually okay, let me just play the video. Okay. The video is actually talking about does it have audio? Okay. Let's watch this carefully and then lessons to them.
We can't hear the video. Does the video has voice?
Oh, yeah. Yes, it has. Okay, let me see.
But then you can send the video to me separately. I will join it together.
Okay. Yeah. So let me just, you will join it to you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let me move to the next slide. Okay, so why comprehensive sexuality education? Now, adolescents and young people, they are a special set of people. I actually call them the powerhouse of the powerhouse. I liken them to the powerhouse of the cell, the mitochondria. They drive a lot of change. They drive a lot of change because they are critical. Would I say critical? I say they are very powerful people because of the type of energy that they exert. So they need and they have the right to comprehensive information about their sexual and reproductive health. And this is not being talked about. It's our responsibility primarily. Shy away from the fact that, because of the settings, the affecting in an African home, we didn't talk about sex, about, all those things. Like some of us that grew up in African home tell us all this, life is evolving. don't want to shine away from the young people. So they need and they have the right comprehensive information about sexual and reproductive health. And this, like the video we just watched, talking about two young girls. One had access to sexual CSE, Comprehensive Sexuality Education, and the other did not. You all knew what happened, what is the end result of that. And build them and help them to navigate this very critical stage of their life and make them come out to be better adults, better outcomes for young people. So this right, it all relates to the Sustainable Development Goal, SDG 3, which speaks to good health and well-being. So, and these project is also trying to, try to raise awareness about SDG. So this falls under the SDG 3. 3.7 is specifically aims to ensure universal access, irrespective of age, to sexual and reproduction education and family planning for all. And the CSC also empowers youth to make well about their life. It makes them to align with the goals aligning with the goal of achieving health equity, which is ensuring that people of all ages live healthy. So, is it new? Does it work? Comprehensive sexuality education, does it work because we have goal that we try to achieve? Does it work? And how can we make it happen? Okay, so let's quickly see some of the importance of CSC. So early education helps to prevent misinformation. Like the video we watched, we just finished watching. You can see that the one had access to information, even though it was misinformation. So early education and the use of CSC, Comprehensive Sexuality Education, can actually help to prevent misinformation. It can also empower students to make informed and safe decisions as it's of their sexuality. Then it addresses physical, emotional, and social aspects of sexual development, and it promotes gender equality and reduces sexual violence, because someone that is well informed will be able to take proactive sexuality, their sexual life. And these are the benefits of CSC. Let's take a look at some of the health indicators. There's a general, let me say, misconception. It's a misconception actually that that when a young person or is an adolescent is being guided with comprehensive sexuality education, it makes them to engage in risky sexual behavior because they now know about sex, they now do this, but it's actually a misconception. It is not true. The truth is, one of the benefits of comprehensive sexuality education is that it actually reduces and the engagement of these adolescents in risky sexual behaviors, because they are well informed, such as unprotected sex. They know that if they have unprotected sex, these and these are the likely consequences of that action of unprotected sex. Then can lead to unintended pregnancy, then unsafe abortion, which has actually contributed to maternal death that we have. So research has shown that students who receive CSC are less likely to engage in risky sexual behavior. Work with me. Let me show you some of those statistics across some countries. We'll see that very soon. So CSE helps to delay sexual activity, and also, just in case when the students are already sexually active, they know what to do. It increases the use of contraceptives and make them self-aware. Then it also improves academic outcomes. Students who feel confident and supported in their personal lives, they perform academically, they perform better academically because they focus, they are not distracted. They are not distracted, they are not thinking of, oh, I'm pregnant, what do I do? They are not thinking of, oh, so then it also reduces the rate of unintended pregnancy, which makes students to actually stay in school. Then it also improves public health outcomes, such as the STIs, HIV/AIDS, the incidence of HIV/AIDS, the incidence of teenage pregnancy, and that means that we have the healthcare cost is reduced because the burden of the financial burden of unsafe abortion is actually very high. Then we also have improved societal outcomes. So this is like a graph showing us what is obtainable in some of these countries. Like I said, look at Netherlands, Sweden, and Finland, where they have well-established CSC in their curriculum. Look at the outcome of HIV prevalence. Look at what we have we can compare to South Africa. We can compare to this South Africa and these other countries. They have emerging programs. Then look at sub-Saharan African countries like where Nigeria falls. You can see they're still red. We have high incidence and prevalence of HIV, high prevalence of HIV because we are supposed to see as we emotional intelligence. And like I said earlier, that coping skills, it helps students to understand boundaries. Even when they are in a relationship, they set boundaries. They understand feelings. They know that this is this is my body. I have to protect what happens to my body. I don't have to be to be pressurized to have sex if I don't want to have sex. So here's the global.
I can't hear you. I don't know why. Yeah, I think your voice was lost. I couldn't hear you.
Okay. This is the global perspectives to comprehensive sexuality education, where I just try to highlight some of the countries that have established CST programs already, like that has been shown in the graph. You can see Netherlands, Sweden, and Germany. Well, the result is that they have lower rates of teenage pregnancy and STIs, with students reporting higher level of sexual well-being and confidence. They are able to identify, and then it also helps in gender equality and inclusion. And it's actually, they have better sexual and reproductive health outcomes. So these are countries with emerging CSC programs. And also Nigeria, let's take a case study of Nigeria. We've had issues where CSC has been, partially, I would say partially, and the implementation has been inconsistent across states. We have it as FLHE, Family Life and HIV Education, where, it's just focuses on, it's not really comprehensive enough as to what should be integrated into school curriculum. So these are some of countries that have success stories where they were actually battling with, like South Africa, they were battling with high HIV rates, and they actually integrated CSC into the curriculum, where they focus on HIV prevention, healthy relationships, and they've been able to achieve goals like, reduction in HIV, the prevalence of HIV/AIDS in those countries. Then what does UNESCO, the global guidelines, it promotes CSC as part of the strategy to achieve SDG. We are back to the Sustainable Development Goals, particularly as it relates to health and gender equality, as we have mentioned earlier. So what are the concerns and challenges? Why has it not been embedded in the curriculum? These are some of the concerns and challenges. We have cultural and religious sensitivities. We have resistance from parents, community, even policy makers. Certain topics are forbidden. They should not be talked about, like contraception, sexual orientation. They are controversial topics. And, we in a conservative society, like what is obtainable in Nigeria. And these are some of the concerns and challenges that has been faced over time with incorporating CSC in the curriculum. So, and we keep advocating, and we keep speaking to stakeholders, advocating, policymakers, advocating for critical stakeholders as to why this CSC has to be incorporated into the curriculum fully. Comprehensive Sexuality Education. Then parental concerns. Parents will fear that, okay, the CSC, like I said, that it can encourage early sexual initiation, but research has shown that it is not true, or it could expose these children to inappropriate content. Remember, one of the core components of CSC is that it should be age appropriate, and these are what we have to look at if we indeed want to fully incorporate CSC into school curriculum. So, also lack of teacher training and resources. There's a need to actually invest in capacity building, up-to-date teaching and training and retraining of teachers that would be delivering this CSC in schools. They have to be taught. There are guidelines. Then also another is resource limitations, which is what we face as low and middle income country. We face resource constraints, such as trained teachers, government funding. Enough. They are not funding CSC programs enough. Then we also have limited time in school curriculum. Schools, they are more concerned about mathematics, science, English, leaving little time for CSC. Should actually be something that, is very important, because it actually speaks to overall health and well-being of this adolescent. And this can even when it is good, when it is better, it helps them to stay in school. Then there is also a challenge of fitting CSC into, we have a lot of packed school schedule. We have, we don't want to compromise and have buy-in. We need the buy-in of the government to actually make this dream come true. Then community and social resistance. Some community members in some of the communities, we talk about one of the core principles of CSC to fit into society norms, to fit into society. Members that are somewhat very conservative may actually oppose the introduction of CSC. They view it as threat to societal values or the family structure. So there's a need see that is also part of the principle, and we would not even tamper with societal norms, with society values. We will place it in high esteem while, delivering CSE. The misconception, misinformation, stigma, you don't want to talk about sex, nobody wants to talk about it, and young people. How will they learn? Social media spaces, they're there. The social media are there, they are all there, and there are adult content that they should not even have access to on the social media. And yeah, they are there, yeah, all this social media, and they are consuming this adult content unfiltered. And here we want to bring to them, comprehensive sexuality education, talk to them about, what it is that they should understand about their body, and to help them navigate through life. So now, in conclusion, we can now make an attempt to answer the question that we started off with. Should comprehensive sexuality education be a mandatory part of the school curriculum? Do you want to look at the benefits, how it outweighs whatever emotions, feelings that anybody might be coming in with in the issue of comprehensive sexuality education, taking into consideration the core principle. So that is why we need people, teachers, educators, parents that will be taught training and retraining. They will be equipped with the skills to deliver CSE appropriately. It should be age appropriate. It should fit the context or the cultural norms. It should be comprehensive enough. It should actually be friend. It should be safe space friendly, and it should be gender sensitive. And what we've mentioned earlier. So I would be rounding up on this note that where do we go? Going forward, what are we going to be doing differently to improve on all the indicators that I've mentioned, the outcome, the sexual and reproductive outcomes of adolescents and young people? So it's actually important for us to keep advocating, to keep educating stakeholders, who is who, policymakers, where, they understand the concept. There's a need for them to understand this concept of the CSC so that they will just, accept it. And the answer is, I know the answer by now. We all know the answer. It should be a mandatory part of school curriculum. It should be something that, we learn. We learn a lot about our body parts. We should also learn about our private part. It's part of the anatomy of the body. And we cannot shy away from the fact that this is a major problem of adolescents and young people. So before I conclude, I want to, if I have opportunity like this, I talk about my story. I named it my evidence for sexual and reproductive health policy on this where the where adolescents thrive. That's which is a sexual, reproductive health and rights school advocacy drive, and the goal is simple. The goal is to create a safe, supportive, inclusive school environment for adolescents so that they will thrive and they can thrive and reach their full potential. So, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, the call came in. So here is my C for Spark story. So the capstone project is targeted at in-school adolescents. It is titled Adolescent Drive. It's a sexual reproductive health and rights school advocacy drive. And I will be reaching out to some schools in Ekiti State, where I'm currently the state adolescent health officer. And I would be impacting the life of these adolescents and young people. And the focus is on prevention of unintended pregnancy and unsafe abortion. I want to discourage that. I will be using peer-to-peer method because of the sensitivity of this topic. I'll be reaching out to training peer educators, adolescents themselves, doing that work in a safe space. There's a safe space that goes on in all public secondary schools in the Ekiti State at the moment, supported by Agile. Agile is the World Bank project. And I would be leveraging on this safe space session where they have it once in a week to actually educate these students, and they go back to the safe space to discuss this. So it's going to be a peer-to-peer education method to deliver the project. And also I will be training some of their teachers, their counselors and teachers that they can actually confide in, training them on comprehensive sexuality education. And these teachers will also help to cascade this training to these in-school adolescents. And from there, we leave a footprint even long after the project timeline. When the project is gone, at least we have teachers that have been empowered, they have been trained, they have skills to deliver on comprehensive sexuality education. So I just said I should actually ship these in. This is my C for Spark story. And so what are the next steps? I think I've discussed this. We have to keep advocating. Who are we advocating to? We are advocating to policymakers, critical stakeholders, high-level stakeholders that can actually help us in the education sector, in the health sector. There has to be synergy to incorporate and to introduce CSC fully into the school curriculum, where everywhere, anywhere you find yourself talking about it. And then what are the outcomes? We know the outcomes already. We've discussed that. Better sexual and reproductive health outcomes, where we have reduced prevalence of HIV, where we have reduced unintended pregnancy, unsafe abortion, HIV/AIDS, STIs, and having to actually have adolescents who grow up to be adults who are well informed, who are all round, whose well-being, all round, and health is better. They have better health outcome. So I thank you for listening. Thank you for having. I want to say a big thank you to Instride Pathways, their youth-led organization, Youth Foundation. Thank you for reaching out to me. Thank you for having me, and for the privilege. I don't take it for granted. Thank you, and God bless.